Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
When one of basketball's greatest legends says he's been watching you, you're clearly doing something extraordinary. That's exactly what happened with Caitlin Clark. Last season, Larry Bird, a man who rarely hands out compliments, admitted he was tuning into her games just as much as those of his beloved alma mater, Indiana State. And if you know Larry Bird, you know that's no small thing. This is a Hall of Famer who's played with and against the best of the best. He's seen every kind of talent, yet here he is, captivated by a rising star who's only just begun her pro career. But Bird's admiration runs deeper than simple fandom. He sees a bit of himself in Clark. Back in his day, Bird wasn't known for flashy dunks or blazing speed. What set him apart was his mind, his next-level basketball IQ, his ability to predict plays before they unfolded. And in Caitlin Clark, he sees that same rare gift. She's not just making headlines, she's rewriting the rules. Before even stepping onto a WNBA court, Clark locked in a $28 million deal with Nike. That's more than many NBA players make. She's become the face of the league in record time. But fame isn't always a celebration. With the spotlight comes pressure. Everyone's watching, fans, critics, and doubters alike. Still, when you compare Bird and Clark, the connection becomes clear. Both have that uncanny instinct on the court, like they're playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. They launch shots from near impossible ranges, frustrate defenses, and redefine what it means to lead a team. And the magic? It's not just in their stats. It's in how they see the game, before the rest of us even realize what's happening. When one of the greatest basketball players of all time takes the time to watch you play, you know you're doing something special. That's exactly what happened when Larry Bird said he was watching Caitlin Clark's games just as much as he was tuning into Indiana State, his own alma mater. Now, if you know anything about Larry Bird, you know how rare that kind of praise is. He's not one to hand out compliments lightly. Bird is a basketball legend who's faced the best to ever touch the hardwood. He's seen all styles, all eras, all levels of greatness. So when someone like him makes time to follow a young player still at the very beginning of her pro career, you have to ask, what is it that he sees? The answer is simple yet powerful. He sees himself in Caitlin Clark. Back in Bird's day, he wasn't the flashiest player on the floor. He wasn't the quickest or the most explosive. What he had was something that didn't show up on stat sheets, a genius-level understanding of the game, a kind of sixth sense that let him outsmart, outmaneuver, and outperform players who were, on paper, more athletic. And now, decades later, he sees that same basketball intelligence in Caitlin Clark. She's not just creating buzz, she's reshaping the game. Before she even played her first professional game, she signed a groundbreaking $28 million endorsement deal with Nike. For perspective, that's more than what many NBA players earn in a season. She hadn't stepped on a WNBA court yet, and she was already the face of a movement. Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA, she is the WNBA for a new generation. But with stardom comes scrutiny. When you're in the spotlight like Clark is, everything changes. People cheer, sure, but they also criticize, they doubt, they dissect your every move. That kind of attention can break a player.
Caitlin Clark is breaking television records. Again. She is breaking her own television records again.
Or build them into a legend. And Caitlin, she's built different. What separates her, just like Bird, is the way she thinks about the game. While most players are reacting in real time, Clark is playing several steps ahead. It's like she's watching the game in slow motion while everyone else is racing to keep up. She sees the floor like a grandmaster sees the chessboard, anticipating patterns, setting traps, and executing with precision. She's not the fastest. She's not the strongest, but time and again, she proves she's the smartest. That's the secret weapon, the thing you can't coach, can't teach, and can't defend against. And the comparisons, they don't stop with Bird. Steve Kerr, an NBA champion as both a player and a coach, sees another parallel. In Caitlin Clark, he doesn't just see Larry Bird, he sees Steph Curry. And when you really think about it, that comparison might say even more about where the game is going. Here's what Kerr had to say. Caitlin reminds me a lot of Steph Curry. A lot of people forget this, but in Steph's first couple of years, he wasn't a superstar. He had to get stronger. He had to learn that people were coming after him. That's what's happening with Caitlin right now. That's what makes this moment so compelling. Clark is still in the early stages of her pro journey. She's learning the physicality, the pace, the pressure, but she's also having moments, like her electric 30-point game against the Washington Mystics, where you catch a glimpse of what's to come. And when it clicks, it's electric. This isn't just a player with hype. This is a player with vision, with poise, with purpose. Bird sees it. Kerr sees it. And now, the basketball world is starting to see it too. Clark isn't just carrying the torch for the future of women's basketball, she's redefining what the flame looks like. Of course, even the brightest stars have their off nights. Caitlin. Clark is no exception. There was that tough game against the New York Liberty where she shot just 10% from the field. It was a humbling reminder that the pro game is a different beast, one where consistency and resilience matter just as much as talent, and that's part of the journey. Being a professional means learning to ride both the highs and the lows. You don't just shine when the shots are falling, you grow from the nights they don't. Still, even when things aren't going her way, Clark finds ways to leave a mark. Because, like Steph Curry, she's redefining what's possible on a basketball court. She doesn't wait for the shot clock to wind down. She doesn't even wait to get close to the basket. The moment she crosses half court, she's in scoring range, and she knows it. These aren't reckless shots either. They're rehearsed, calculated, and drilled endlessly. Her deep threes are the result of thousands of reps, hours alone in the gym, perfecting something most players wouldn't even try. And her passing? That's where things get truly wild. Watching Caitlin Clark pass is more like watching Patrick Mahomes sling a football than your typical basketball assist. No-look dishes, behind-the-back bullets, full-court lasers that somehow land exactly where they need to be. Her court vision isn't just good, it's next level. She sees lanes others don't even realize are there. She's not just playing the game, she's changing it. Even Steph Curry, the greatest shooter the NBA has ever seen, can't help but admire her craft. In an interview, he talked about what makes Clark stand out. She's fearless. The game runs through her, but she doesn't just score. She makes everyone around her better. Then he added something every defender should probably take note of. You can't really game plan for her. When she crosses half court, she's in range. That element of surprise, that's hard to guard. And then there's her form, flawless, no matter where she shoots from. Whether she's pulling up from the free throw line or the logo, it all looks the same. Her feet are always balanced. Her elbow hits that perfect 90-degree angle. Her follow-through is pure muscle memory. Textbook, every single time. That's not natural talent alone. That's thousands of lonely hours putting up shot after shot until the form becomes second nature. That's what greatness looks like behind the scenes. And when Clark rises up from 30 feet out, there's a moment, just before the ball leaves. Her fingertips, when the whole arena knows, you can hear it in the crowd. The anticipation, the energy, the buzz. Then the shot goes up, and more often than not, it drops. That's Caitlin Clark magic, a blend of boldness, precision, and the kind of showmanship that turns every game into must-see TV. There's a moment just as Caitlin Clark crosses half court, just as she squares up to shoot, when the crowd holds its breath, because they know something special might be about to happen. Steph Curry, the king of long-range shooting himself, put it best. These aren't just shots that add points to the scoreboard. These are daggers, momentum killers. They don't just score, they shatter the other team's confidence.
I mean, I've been watching from afar and understanding just how much of a power she is out there on the court. The cool part is the way that she plays and her range and the level of difficulty on her shots is obviously a very close comparison to the.
Think about it. How do you defend someone who's dangerous from literally anywhere on the floor? Teams have tried everything. They've thrown taller defenders at her to contest her vision. They've used speed to try and stay in front. They've sent double teams, trapped her off the dribble, even tried to deny her the ball entirely. And yet, none of it sticks. Because when you can shoot from 30 feet with the same ease, most players shoot from 10, and you can thread passes like a quarterback. Dropping dimes, there's no one-size-fits-all defense. She finds a way. The great ones always do, but here's where the story gets more layered. While NBA legends like Curry and Bird have been quick to praise Clark's game, not everyone in the WNBA has been as openly enthusiastic. Some of that's been quiet, some of it not so much. And honestly, that's okay, because anytime someone shows up and shifts the balance, anytime someone brings a new style, a new level of hype, a new audience, there will be pushback. Every player who's ever changed the game has felt it. Larry Bird did. Steph Curry did. Kobe, LeBron, Diana Taurasi, they all had to weather doubt. Change never comes without resistance. And that's because change makes people uncomfortable. But discomfort, that's where growth begins. Clark's presence in the league is shaking things up. She's raising the bar, drawing new fans, and bringing fresh energy into the game. She's making people pay attention, and while not everyone may be ready for it just yet, one thing's for sure. They're watching. Even LeBron James, someone who's lived under the weight of massive expectations since his teenage years, stepped forward to show his support for Caitlin Clark. And when he speaks, people listen. Don't get it wrong, he said. Caitlin Clark is going to make great things happen for the WNBA. That's not just a compliment, that's validation from one of the most scrutinized and celebrated athletes in modern sports history. LeBron knows what it's like to have cameras following you before you've even turned 18, to carry a league's future on your shoulders. And now, he sees Clark stepping into a similar kind of spotlight, different but no less intense. But let's be clear.
But I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before.
The journey hasn't been perfect, and honestly, it's not supposed to be. That night against the New York Liberty, where nothing seemed to fall, where her shots clanked and the rhythm disappeared, that's part of the story. Every all-time great has those nights. Michael Jordan had them. Larry Bird did too. Even Steph Curry, the player Clark is most often compared to, went through early struggles that tested him. What separates the greats isn't that they never fail. It's how they respond when they do. Those moments of frustration, those hard lessons under bright lights, those are where legends are carved. That's where character is built, where champions are forged. Not in the highlight reels, but in the grind. Still, what might be the most powerful piece of Caitlin Clark's story has nothing to do with stats, accolades, or even the opinions of legends. It's what's happening far away from sold-out arenas and media interviews. It's what's happening in quiet driveways, in small-town rec centers, and in gymnasiums all across the country. Young kids, especially young girls, are watching Caitlin Clark play and thinking, I want to do that. That's where her real impact lives. Just like Larry Bird made kids fall in love with the jump shot, Caitlin is showing this new generation that they can dream differently, bigger, bolder. She's not just redefining what success looks like in women's basketball. She's showing everyone what possible looks like. At just 22 years old, Clark now stands at a pivotal crossroads in the history of the sport. She's not just playing the game, she's influencing it, shaping it, inspiring the next wave before she's even finished her first lap. And maybe that's the most remarkable part of all. Her journey is only just beginning. Caitlin Clark plays with fundamentals that would make basketball legends proud, but her style is firmly rooted in the future of the game. She's not just another talented player lighting up the scoreboard. She's someone who could completely reshape how basketball is played. That's the beauty of the sport. Every once in a while, a player arrives who doesn't just play the game, they reinvent it. Larry Bird changed basketball forever with his unmatched court vision and clutch shooting that could win games in the final seconds. Steph Curry took the game to a new level by stretching the boundaries of what a shooter could do, from impossible deep threes to lightning-fast releases that left defenders frozen. Now, Caitlin Clark is walking in their footsteps, blending the wisdom of past legends with her own bold and exciting style that's reshaping the game before our eyes. But this isn't just about scoring points or adding wins to the board. It's bigger than that. It's about smashing through barriers, challenging everything we thought was possible on a basketball court, and bringing that rare kind of magic that makes the game thrilling to watch, just like Bird's Indiana State. Games were must-see moments that had everyone on the edge of their seats. Clark's journey has us all glued to the screen, waiting to see what incredible move or shot she'll pull off next. Her rise is more than just a story, it's a revolution in motion. If you love this deep dive into Caitlin Clark's game, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest stories and highlights. Drop a comment below telling us your favorite Caitlin Clark moment so far, and don't forget to share this video with every basketball fan you know. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, every time Clark steps on the court, you're witnessing history in the making.